Hello guys, this is Alinafe Mtitimilla from IdealabMw. So today at the end of this section we are going to learn how to build this website. So in this section we are going to learn how to build this landing page. These are dummy words that I've actually put here, but we'll learn how to build this landing page in this training program. So let's get started. So we'll build this website from scratch. So let us just create a HTML file called index.html. Click enter, and remember to write the boilerplate for HTML. We just need to write exclamation mark and press tab. And from here I'm going to just give the title of this page as home, and let us also just add another file called index.css. So index.css is the file we are going to use to write our CSS. So I've just opened it in advance. Then thereby on this page, remember we are going to link this index.css file in the header tag of our HTML. So in order to do so, we need to just write link relation. So a short form is going to be rel, so it's rel is equal to style sheet. So the relationship between this file is the default one is style sheet. Then the reference, hyperlink reference, is going to be the path to our index.css file. So we just write index.css file, index.css file, and click enter. So if you want to review this file, remember you need to open your project in a folder. You just need to right click and press open with live server. So yes, our live server is on. Let us just put it right here so that we can preview some other things that are here. So first of all, we need to have our header section and our footer in this project. So I will write my header. So inside the header, I want to put the navigation bar, and inside the nav bar, I have the title, like the logo of my page. So I'll just name it. I'll give it a class. So a short form to give it a class, we just need like dot, the name of the class. So I'll just write title card. That's auto-completed for me the class in a division called div. So I'll just write the title of my page or the logo. So splash burger. So splash burger, and click Ctrl S to save, and you can see that we do have splash burger word appearing on our screen. That means our live server is working as well. So yeah, so we'll add the menu bar. So in order to do so, we just write menu bar, dot menu bar. Click tab is going to autocomplete to write the menu bar, and let us add the anchor tags. So the anchor tags will send, once you click the link that is generated by the anchor tags, it's going to send you to another page. But in this case, we just put a hash because we will not create other pages as well. This video is meant to focus on CSS only. So we can just write about this anchor tags and add another anchor tag, and in this case we are going to just write login. So we will need to display a logo for our anchor tags as well. We want to show that this place, when you log in, it's dedicated for a user or what. So our logo is going to be an image. All right, I do have images that I will use in this section. So first of all, we're going to use the user image. So we have PNG, we have user PNG, user PNG. So this is user PNG. We are going to access it and show the user avatar. So if we click save here, Control S and refresh, and we were able to see the avatar in action. We'll edit this one later on. This time around, we just need to focus on getting the HTML on the page as well. So we are done with the header. Let us go to section. So in this section, let us go and put every detail that we want to appear as in our main section as well. So in order to do that, let us give it a class. Let's give our section a class called main section. So these classes are going to help us coming up with customized CSS programs to customize our page. We also need to to demarcate our sections. We will need a section to show the content and the other section to show the picture of a burger. So to do so, we need to demarcate the section from left section to light section. So inside our left section, we have 3 divisions that we need to have. The first division is the one that we want our title. We can say title of our page or bag or something like that. We want to show in that section. So in order to do that, we will have to just name the first division the first level, and the second division as the second level, the third division as the third level. So we are done in that section. We just add another section here, the right section. So inside the right section, that's where we're going to put the image of the burger that we are trying to make. So lastly, we'll go to the footer. Go to the footer. Inside the footer, we just put 2022 IdealabMw. Malawi. So IdealabMw Malawi short form is MW. Yeah, so far this is the content that we just need in this section. Let me just add another additive component that right. So these are just text. So only right here on the first level, experience the best of delicious. That's delicious burger. And on the second level, we need to place a button inside this level. So put a button, and that button will have words like place your order. Yeah, that's all with HTML. So next up, we're going to CSS. So CSS is where we are going to animate this page to look like the one we have shown at the first. So in order to do so, remember we have already linked CSS with this document. So we'll go to CSS and we'll begin editing our file. So first of all, I have linked the file with Google Fonts. So in order to do so, you go to Google Fonts and select the font that you are working with and copy this font URL. So if you do so, you can actually work with fonts from Google. But if you don't know how to do this, you can actually link me up in Discord, and I will let you know how you can actually use Google as well. So how does CSS work? How does CSS work in our HTML document? So CSS is just a style sheet that you can put configurations to style your document, HTML document. First of all, CSS actually have a selector inside a curly bracket. A curly bracket has got a property, and after semicolon it has got a value, then another colon. So that's how CSS works. So it has got a selector, a property, and a value. So a selector is an HTML tag, a class or an ID, and the value is the amount of the style that you want in your CSS document. So we want to edit our CSS document. So I will just take you through the process of how you can edit the document as I am doing. You can practice this, you can check other properties as well. We are not going to check all of the properties in this course, but you can actually check them on your own. So in order to do so, I will start with a selector called star. So star means it's taking everything. We are including everything in this CSS course. So what I do, I just write star, comma, and I'll actually write star before and after, and put close this one in the semicolon. You see that we have star before and star after. So what it's trying to say is star before something happens, and star a sizing constraint that is available in CSS. So it's how you actually size your width and height. So they are actually different sizes, box sizes. You can check them out by just googling them. So I'll just click on Control S to save it. You see nothing happens because it's just a constraint of how we are going to size our document. So I will just also write a star. I want to remove the margins. So the margins are just auto-generated. So you can see that add these HTML contents, you can see that there are margins here, there are spaces. I want to remove them, and I want to remove all the padding as well. So if I do that, you can see I have removed all the spaces so that I can actually put my own constraints properly. And also I want to make my font inherit. So what it means is I want my font to be inherited from the parent. So if I put the parent font to be like something else, all the child elements are going to take that font. So by default it's just like that, but however we will explicitly put that in mind. And we'll also have our body. So remember, we do have body tags in this statement as well. So make sure that you do have body tags as well included in order to customize whatever you are seeing here. So whatever you're seeing here, it's in the body tag, which is very important. So in this case, what I need to do is in the body, I want to have min height. So minimum height of the body, I want it to have 100% view height. So I can just say minimum height. I want to have it 100 view height. So what it means is that my minimum is going to be 100% of the view that I'm seeing right now. So that is my minimum height, but the maximum height is going to be everything. So you can create some two websites, but they won't be as little as the space that you are seeing here. So it's going to take the whole picture as the minimum height. We'll see that later on, or you can check on yourself. So I want to have the font family as Oxygen. So this font is from Google, and just put this font in here. Okay, I'll put this font as well. I can just say sans serif. Yeah, so this font is from Google and we're able to access it. So Oxygen, I've actually gotten it from Google. You can actually check that in place as well. And another thing, I want to make my images and videos responsive. So we do have only an image in this case. So I can just put images in responsive. So in order to do that, I will just like display block. So I'm treating my images as blocks, and max width is going to be 100%. So auto height is going to be auto, so it's going to be 100%. So let us actually continue with this. Remember, we do have a nav section. So on this nav section, we want to display this as flex. Let us go to menu bar. So in order to access a class, you start with a dot menu and go to menu bar, and we just like display flex. So we're not going to put low again because it's default. So display flex, make sure that the anchor tags are in a row. So that's fine. That's good for us. And let us also access the title card. The title card class. So remember, the title card class is in the it's the class of the splash bagger word. So we want to make sure we position it properly. So we need to put margin left. So what margin is, it actually moves the element away from the corners, away from anywhere we're expressing the thing. So if it's a margin left, we are removing it away from the left side and going to the right side. So we just want to move this one 30 pixels. So 30 pixels, and we want to move it from the top. So margin top, we want to move it 20 pixels, and we want to make this font bigger. So we want to make it bold, so we just put font weight of 700. So if we click and save, you're seeing that right now we are start seeing something else. So let us actually customize our anchor tags. So in order to do so, we just press A and put the properties in them. So this decoration, let us put none. Color, as you go closer to this, you can actually change the color. We want it to be black, so we want it to be black, and we also want to put margin, right. So we are moving them away from the right side, so we just put 30 pixels. 30 pixels, and okay, we want to move them from the top with 20 pixels, and click enter, and I think we are now seeing some changes in our page as well. All right, so there are some other things that we want to change in our section. So as you can see here, we want to customize these tags the way we are moving them. So I want to customize the login tag, anchor tag. So in order to customize it on its own, we'll place an ID. So we just say an ID, and in so doing, I'll actually place margin left. So I'm changing the margin right, so that I can customize it on its own. Margin, it's going to be taking 5 pixels. So I've changed it from general customization to its own customization. The reason behind, because I want this logo to be closer to the login word. So I want to access the menu bar. CSS has got this functionality whereby you can access the image that is here, not the image, but the contents that are inside the parent HTML tag. So the .menu bar is the class of the parent HTML tag, and image is the child HTML element inside the parent tag. So if you like as this .menu bar space img, I'm accessing the image tag inside the parent menu tag. So I can have multiple image tags, but they won't be customized in this case. So I'll put some margins as well. So we have margin right, and the margin right, I'll just put 30 pixels. And margin top, I'll put 23 pixels. And I want to resize the image. So in order to do so, I'll have width. So width of 15 pixels, it's enough, and height of 15 pixels, it's enough as well. So let us save. Remember, we do have the main section. So we do have the .main section. So the .main section is the body, is the main, let me say it's the main container, or the one that holds our information. So we want to place in some of the components, some of the properties here. So I want to justify content center. So what it means, I'll put the content centered at the y-axis. So I want to make sure that they are actually centered, and I'll put the margin top. Make sure there's a gap. So of 20 pixels, and place display grid. So display grid is going to help us to actually formulate grid where we can put our components in. So it's a very essential tool to write let me say responsive websites. So you can put display flex or grid, but I think grid is a very easy way to actually placing information in your website. So in this case, I want to actually demarcate the columns in the grid so that I can arrange my components in a well-suited manner. So I'll just write grid template columns so that I can demarcate the grids, but I want to have 5 grids. So in order to do so, I'll put one FR 5 times. So there are various ways to do this, but this is very easy for beginners to understand. So what I've done is I have actually sliced this page into 5 columns, so 5 sections of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'll put lows. You can actually see that my VS Code is actually giving me some suggestions. It's because I'm using an AI to do this. So it's tab 9. You can actually install it in your extensions. It's good, but I wouldn't say you should rely on it every time. So let us go to the left and the right section. So on the left section, and we want to demarcate the grid that we're working with into some sectors that we can actually put or place in our component. So in order to do so, there are some features of grid. So we have grid, column, start. So remember, we have actually break the grid into 5 sections, so 5 columns and 3 rows. So I want to start at the first position whereby I truncated the grid. So we'll start at the first one, and we want to end it at the 4th section, and we want to start our row from the 1st and the 4th. So this may sound confusing, but it's very easy to understand if you do a little bit of practice. So what I'm saying is I have demarcated my grid columns into 5 sections, but however, I want to let the left section of my page take up the 3 grids that are here, the 3 columns that are here. So I want to start at the first point where I am starting making the columns. So I'll start from here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this shows that I've taken the 3 parts of the grid, and I'll start at the first and ending at the 4th. And also the columns, there are 3 rows here, solid rows. So I'll take from 1 up to 4. So that's how you can demarcate the left section. The right section is also going to be similar way of doing so, but in this case, what we're trying to do is to start from the other side, from, let me say, 4 to the end as well. So in order to do so, I'll just place in this code, and you appreciate and do the calculations. But however, we want to place an image on the right section. So in order to do so, I'll place in the background image. So to do so, you can just say background image. So remember, we have an image of a burger. To access that image, we put a value, a function here called URL, and we access the burger dot JPEG. Let us continue, and we want to customize our first label. So our first label, remember we're working with classes, that's why you are seeing things like this as well. So we want to change the font family to the one that I have taken from Google. So we have Great Vibes. Okay, yeah. So Great Vibes, and here we have Receive as our option. So if Great Vibes didn't work, it is going to take Cursive, because Cursive is locally found. So it's very important to light an alternative font. So font size, I want to be 8M. So 8M, what it means, it's equivalent to the size of the font in the body. So the normal size, it's 14 pixels. So 14 pixels times 8 is going to be the size of the font when you say it's going to take 8 EM. So it's with respect to the font size of the root element. You can try it out and find out how it's responding. So I want to put margin of this margin of this text, and click enter, and you can see that we are now starting to see the shape, the changes in our section. So let us continue adding customization. So we want the button. Remember, after the first step, we have the second level. Inside that second level, we have a button. So we want to start placing in some things. The button. So we want to change to 4 EM. Then padding. So some of these things you need to practice and see how it's changing. But what padding means is the text inside the button, or the element inside the button, is going to create space on the button in order to be accommodated inside the element. So you can see that it has created some space inside the button. So I want to create a border radius. So I'll remove the border. So the borders are the black section here, and I want to create the border radius to be 0 for now. And you can see we have removed the dark stroke, or the dark border. The background color, I want it to be reddish. So I have a color. I think this one is very good. And I want the color. So the color, it's going to be white. So this is the color of the text inside the button. It's going to be white, and the font weight, it's going to be 600. So I want to add some animations to the button when you're placing the button. So We'll add the transition. So you don't need to put this bit because this one is for advanced users, but I've just added it anyway so that I can experience it and add some functionalities. So on transition, I'll put all, so everything that can be transition will be transition, and it's going to take 0.5 seconds, and easy in and out. So if you click and save, you can see that we are seeing some transition as our page is loading. If you are hovering on the button, I want to make sure that there is an animation, and also if you press that button, I want to make sure that there is also an animation. So in order to do so, I'll also add a border radius. So I'll add a border radius. So the border radius is going to be 25%. So 25% on the on one corner and 10% on the other. So it's going to be 25% on this side and 10% on this side. So if we click here, you see nothing changes. Let me just add another color on the hover feature. So if I get closer here, you're going to see that it's changing when I am hovering over the button. So I think we are going there. Let us go to the third level. So the third level is where we are seeing this. So yeah, we are seeing some other things at work here. So let us go to the third level. So on the third level, what we do is to make sure that we have a width of 500 pixels and margin left. So what we're just customizing the placeholder of the text, 65 pixels and margin right. I think should put 20 pixels here and click enter. So we are good to go. So we are good to go, and let me just check in. We have one error here. Okay, and save. Yeah, I think we are now good to go. Everything is working as polished. And let us go to the footer, and we want to align our text at the center, and the font size we want to be small. So our footer is this way, 2022 IdealabMw. Font size is going to be extra small. And we'll actually place in position absolute. So what it means when we say position absolute, it gives us the possibility to position anywhere we want our object. So we can place anywhere we want by explicitly saying the position of the object. So we want to place it at the bottom. So at the bottom, we want to place it with the 0 pixels. So at the bottom, you can see it's at the bottom of the page, and want to take the width 100%, and height 60 pixels, so that we place in it properly. All right, we are seeing some other things here. So we want to add our image in our website. So we'll use this image of a burger, and to do so, we just go to the section where we want to add our image, which is the right section. So in order to do so, we just slide background image. We want our image to be a background. So background image, you use the URL function in CSS to get the burger image. So just like burger.jpg, that's the burger image. And once we do so, we go to how our image is going to repeat itself. So we go here and we say no repeat. We don't want this image to repeat itself. So then we make sure that we actually categorize this image in a way that we want. So in order to do so, we need to make sure that the way our image will look, it's going to be contained. So to do so, we'll just write an image size. So in image size, we say contain, so that our image should actually appear. So I have made a mistake somewhere else. Instead of writing space, justify content space between, I've just write flex direction flex between. So justify content space between, and click Ctrl S. Now we do have our website, and it's working correctly. And as you can see, it's not that responsive, because we did not go to responsive website in this case. So you can actually try to come out with different configurations according to your liking and whatnot. So this is just a landing page that we have used in order to practice our CSS capabilities in this course. So I would actually encourage you to work on this exercise. Make sure you actually come up with your designs, and I'll be very interested to see your designs. Make sure you put the designs in Discord. Just give me screenshots of your designs, and if you want to share more, you can give me the code and I will check in. If you also have any questions or you are meeting any errors, make sure you are actually asking me in the Discord channel. So thank you very much. See you next up. Next around, we are going to actually learn on JavaScript, how we can create our JavaScript. So we do have additional 2 pages to write. So we do have the about page and login page. So these ones, we are going to add JavaScript to them so that we can put some functionalities for error checking and whatnot. So thank you very much.